interesting how hitting rock bottom, it kind of opens up other opportunities in your life. It seems like this worst case scenario, but it kind of makes you reevaluate what's important in your life. And it's something I've experienced, not to the degree that you have, but I know that there have been really just low points in my life, and what came after them, you're almost thankful for those low points because you're really grateful for the perspective that they gave you.
Most people don't know that the rock bottom, you will remember the best times of your life as the part that you struggled the most, right?
Yeah.
So you hit the surfboard, and if I'm understanding this sequence right, you then started looking at the checkboxes of your life. And explain the checkboxes and the no BS version of you.
Yeah, the checkboxes really are sort of these predetermined rules by which everybody says you should live your life. You go to school, you go to a better school, you get a job, hopefully you get promoted at that job, you climb the ladder, then you go back and get more education, and then you keep climbing until supposedly you're going to reach this pinnacle. And that pinnacle is really a myth because
it's misery.
Well, the truth is that so few people actually reach that, and even the ones that do
don't like it. I've never met anybody at the very top that is really happy. I never have.
Well, and that's the thing, because so many choices were made for them. They weren't their own choices along the way. And so as a result, it's interesting, right? What we do is so many jobs and so many careers are based on creating this sort of false version of who you are, what I call sort of the BS version of who you are. I remember when I applied to business school, I thought, wow, we've really manufactured something that will meet the criteria of an admissions counselor, but this is no longer me. Looking back now, I think, wow, that was really just fabricated, and that's what a resume is to me. But what's awesome now is that we can paint a full and real picture of who we are underneath all of those things, and that's what I say, put your signature on it. Do something that nobody else could do, that could only come from within you, and that's amazing. That's beautiful.
But that is really, for most people, that's really hard to get your arms around.
Yeah,
it's really hard. It's really. Did you ever feel like, I don't know if that's in me. I don't know if anything else is in me.
I feel like that every day.
Okay.
I don't think that changes. I think that I think that people have this idea that, hey, you're Srini, you're crazy, you're audacious, you have this in you. But I told somebody, one of my friends says that your whole life will change in one brief moment of audacity. But what's interesting is that brief moments of audacity, they have to become a habit, and each one builds on the next one. Really, I could never have planned this or predicted this. I didn't write this book, Glenn, so that I would end up sitting here in this chair talking to you.
Sure.
I wrote this book because I had something to say that I felt was really meaningful to me personally. I just wanted a piece of work in the world. And despite interviewing 400 people, building a semi-popular blog and show, there's no publisher knocking on my door. So I thought, that's it, I'm done. I'm not going to wait. This is important to me. And the people who want it will get it in their hands, and let's see what happens.
Do you think that it is important that, because this occurs to me every day, maybe I've already done what I was supposed to do. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. And because I think that way at times, I question it all the time. There's no reason why all of this has to go on. There's no reason. I don't need it. I don't want it. But it is that constant questioning that pulls me back to who I am, that allows me to continue to think differently and find success. Because the minute I owe money on all of this and I have to make the note, the minute I'm under pressure, the minute I have something, then it all goes away, right? So speak a little bit to the thought of when you want it, it's not the time. Can you?
Yeah, I think that what we're talking about here is ego, right? All those things are based on your ego, and you can't create anything that's truly remarkable when it comes from a place of ego. You can't create anything that's from within you, because your ego isn't the real version of you. Your ego does things based on validation and the accolades that might occur. Like I said, I had no idea. And I mean, we're the oddest pairing in the world. I mean, all you have to do is look at my Facebook feed to realize that. You know, I'm a beach bum surfer from Berkeley, and from, you know, what I know about you and what I've
I'm
been
from
told,
Seattle, Washington, so
Yeah.
I'm not that different.
And yet, you know, we have this common ground
love
that
the whale.
transcends whatever our political or religious
Right.
beliefs are, because we believe that there's something powerful going on here as a society. Like, we both share that
But see,
common belief.
I think that's the secret. That's why, you know who Penn Jillette is? Mm-hmm. Okay. Penn Jillette and I are good friends because Penn is a guy who, he's an atheist. I'm devoutly Christian, but I don't mind I don't care. You know what I mean? He's a good, decent guy. He sees me as a good, decent guy. We get along. I don't need to change his life. He doesn't change mine. And we just kind of look at the world and say, this is crazy, isn't it? More people should just be happy. More people should just be free, be them, and stop trying to control people. That's where I think most people connect, is they just leave me alone, man. Just let me do my thing.
Well, you know, I want to comment on something you said earlier. You said, you know, what if this is it? And, you know, to me, I kind of said, I think about this, right? I think we try to compartmentalize our life and say, okay, well, this is a career. And once I'm done with this career, that's it. I'm done. It's a career. But the thing is that it doesn't have to be. Like, you know, every day of your life is a blank canvas from which you can create something that doesn't exist.
Difference in, you have children?
No.
Okay. Difference, I think, comes from when you have all of this. It's not like, I'm just going to pick up and go. You have 300 employees and
Sure.
everything else. And so it does change. You know, before, when I could change everything in my own life because it was just me, I could just go, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Right.
But now you do have responsibility of crap. And you look at that every day. And so, I mean, I weigh crap versus life. You know what I mean? Every day. Is this, I don't want to build more crap. I don't want to build more crap that ends up in somebody else's crap. I just want to do what I'm supposed to do. And so it's a real, at least for me, it's a real challenge to make sure that I lived half my life unauthentic. I lived half my life being somebody that I wasn't, being somebody that somebody else created, knowingly or unknowingly, and me going along with it and buying into that crap. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that ever again. And I really don't want to live in a world that I created, that I get to it and go, ick. I don't like any of that either. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, and that's kind of what's really cool about the world we live in. Yeah, I'm not saying, you know, I mean, the whole point of art of being unmistakable, I mean, is not, you know, go ditch your job and you know, do something crazy. I mean, I've told this to people, I mean, and I'm going to tell it to you now in front of a lot of people. I'm 35 years old and I live at my parents' house. And I made a decision when I got out of business school. I realized, and this is a lot of reflecting I've been doing over the last 3 to 4 days because I knew I was going to be here, is that every decision I had made up until that point in my life led to that moment. And I knew that I was going to have to make drastically different decisions if I didn't want to end up there again. And those decisions might be unpopular, they might come with a lot of stigmas, but I knew that if I didn't make similar decisions and I was willing to take some serious chances, the result would be completely different.
So there's a difference. I got to wrap up in just a sec. Can you give me 30 seconds, 40 seconds? Yes, no? Yes. Okay. Tell me the difference, because I have a problem. I have no problem with families that choose to stay together, like in Italy and everything else. Everybody lives in, everybody has fine and whatever. I have a real problem with people who are living off their parents. You know, no problem with crashing with people until you get on your feet, but there's a difference, because I just talked about it at the very beginning of the show, where I'm a child until I'm 33 years old. You're not a child. You're not a child. You're a man. And so what is the difference between the two?
Well, I mean, I made a choice because it was going to give me leverage to get to where I wanted to go.
Right. And your parents were willing to do it.
And they were willing to do it. I mean, they were willing to support that.
Okay. Good. Back in just a second.